Hey y'all, welcome back to Pure South Pastures. I'm Mark. So I'm sure that the wind's gonna be pretty tough today, so I'm not gonna make this video pretty short. Just gonna do a cattle move. You can see the girls here. They've grazed that paddock down pretty darn good. Just gonna kind of have to come up back and clean that up with the bush hog. That's what I've been doing. You can see behind me here. That's where we've kind of followed behind them. Just let me flip the camera around. So this is what we're cutting, and this stuff will get woody and tall. Just clipping it back, trying to set it back early. So we'll do a quick move here. Back out. It's always hard to do this with one hand. All right. This side. I love that heifer. Gave them just a little bitty piece. They really hadn't cleaned this up fully. There's quite a bit back in there, so I'm gonna let them have just a little piece here to kind of, it's been super hot, and today we got a break. Looks like some rain's gonna be coming in, so grateful for that. And I know they were shaded up after this morning. Once it got really hot, it's about 2:30 now in the afternoon, and so I'm sure they've been in the shade for quite a while. So opening that paddock up it'll get them kind of going, cranking, and they'll start eating this stuff, and then they'll go back and clean up. So I didn't give them very much at all, as you can see. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this thistle. I've only got not a whole bunch of this. There's a spot over there where there's quite a bit, but I've only had a handful of these plants that we've even grazed around. So here's one right here. I don't know how well you can see it, but interested to see if they're gonna nip the tips off of all these limbs, these shoots on this thistle. So that'll be cool. A lot of diversity in here. This is I think this may be what some people call like a Pensacola grass, or something like that. Anyway, it's a warm season grass. You can see the foxtail. This stuff right here, man, they really go after it. They eat this stuff first. They love it. I always thought it was just a bunch of trash, but they go after it like crazy. We got this water grass. It's the stuff I was saying the other day. It looks good, but you can see some horse nettle there. So there's a lot of diversity in here. Bahia, some Bermuda, and then this thistle, and the stuff that is just killing me. This stuff is just wearing me out. But it is what it is, right? Just come behind it and clip it. It will not, look, you can stomp it and it just stands back up. You can clip it and it just stands back up. It's crazy, anything that's left. So it's pretty woody, pretty stemmy. And one thing I was going to talk about today, you know, you can tell here I'm not getting a lot. I'm not getting great forage consumption, not getting the best. But it's been hot and they've been spending the days in the shade down in the creek bottom. So I know that affects them some. And this is, it's just a mix of different weeds, basically. And so I'm not pushing them real hard to not be selective. I am still practicing what I consider high stock density, but I'm just not pushing them hard right now. Having said that, you can see the lane here. This is the lane on this side, lane on that side. It really makes grazing simple. You know, you set up a lane and then you just fix breaks every so often. And I really like this lane grazing or strip grazing. It really takes a lot of the guesswork out of how big of a piece am I going to give them, or when do I need to move them. I mean, you just watch them, keep an eye on them and see what they're going to need. And I can have one idea in the morning and completely change that up. So I really like that. So I've got obviously out to that fence line right there on this lane, and then this afternoon I'll build another one over here, and we'll go down to the end because shade and water are down here. So we'll go to the end and just start working back this way. And so as they work this way, you don't back fence them and they can always go back to shade and water. Which down on the bottom, you get a lot of, it beats it up pretty bad. But it's just too hot not to give them a lot of shade, a lot of space to shade up, because it's been 95 with excessive heat warnings because the humidity's been so high. So that's what we're doing. But I really like this strip grazing. I plan this summer, as we move across this field, we'll just keep going strips and grazing this way. When we get down to the creek bottom down there, we go over into that other field, and that field is it's a big piece that goes all the way back around here. And so I'll divide it down the middle and I'll run strips this way, and I'll get to the end and go strips on the other side of it coming back this way. So that'll give them shade on either end as we run those strips. So that really has helped me. If you're new to moving your animals a lot, and especially trying to move them multiple times a day when you're around, I don't always get to do that if I have a long day at work, but on the days that I can, I'll at least move them twice, once in the morning, once in the evening. And on the weekend, like when I'm here, I'll move them 3, 4, 5 times a day. So, but when you're doing that, it really helps you. It takes the guesswork out of how am I going to build the paddock, what direction am I going to go, all that stuff. It really simplifies it all. So I'd encourage somebody, if you've never done it this way, start building strips. So you got to have 2 wires on the sides, obviously, and then at least one that you can move. I like to have 2, so that way you can just leapfrog, and you're not risking. For a little while I did it with 1 wire, and while I was moving it, they'd always try to go past me, So let me pull up this wire right here before they get tied up in it. So I just had a wire that ran across here from this post to that post. I just took it off. Now come down here, you can see the one I just put in. Just ran a little wire across there that keeps them in. Now I'll go ahead and set up the next one. I'll come down here to this piece. I'll put a post on the other side, and I'll put a couple in the middle, run one right across here, and that'll give them a little small break before dark. That is multiflora rose. I'm gonna have to get after that thing and doctor on it a little bit so it don't come back. Yeah, I'm gonna be interested on these thistles. I've never had a lot of thistle around here, so I don't know. I know it can get pretty woolly on you. So I'm interested in that. I feel good about how the cows are doing. There's a few of them that are still holding just a little bit of hair. This little, especially the young ones. I've said that before, but look at these little calves. I mean, these are January calves right there. They're just doing dang good. Slick as a button. She's got, this cow right there, the heifer right here, has got a little bit of hair right there, but that's it. This one's slick. And she generally just don't have a lot of flies compared to others too. So I love that. This is the one bull calf we've had. Had 8 heifers and 1 little bull, and there he is. Gonna be banding him. Half South Pole. I thought about this morning. I hadn't really thought about it. Trying to find this heifer. When she calves, I think it's her right here. Let's see. Oh, that ain't her. Dang, where'd she go? I got a little heifer here that's about to calve. She's a small one. But when she calves, she's gonna be our first. Yeah, there you go. There you go. She's holding a little hair. But she's gonna be the first heifer. She's a half South Pole, half Devon. And so she's bred back to a full-blood South Pole. So that's gonna be the highest percentage South Pole we have on the farm when that calf is born. That'll be cool. Calf's holding some hair. What's doing some thundering? It's acting like it wants to. Back out of here and just watch them graze, see what they're gonna do with some of these weeds. They're going after that, different people have called it different, but that, whatever that grass is right there. Carpet grass is what some people call it. Somebody help me out. Is carpet grass the same thing as Pensacola grass? I know that there is a St. Augustine, I think, has a Pensacola variation. And this stuff kind of does look like St. Augustine a little bit, but I've also heard it called carpet grass. It may be a better term for it. Isn't it funny? You got this whole paddock of grass right here. They're gonna come over here and stick their head under the wire and go for the stuff on the other side. This is the one right here that's gonna be calving. It's 24. Wish she'd shed all that hair off. We got warts too. Going after it. Changed up my water. I'll walk down here and show you. All right, here's what we're doing now with water. Instead of the big 100-gallon Rubbermaid tank, I've switched over to make it easier to move, easier to handle, and it's working out really good. I've had all kinds of water issues, but this seems to be a great solution. I've got some fiberglass posts. You can't see them in the grass right there, but to put in beside this to hold it in place to make sure they don't flip it. But they really haven't. Knock on wood. I expect them to, so I'm gonna put those in, but they haven't tried to flip it over yet. Shout out to my buddy, a guy I met here on this channel on YouTube. He reached out to me and contacted me about a year ago, and we started talking and just kept up ever since. But Joe Martin, I was talking about this. Here it is right here. This 3/4 inch black pipe that I'm using to bring water onto this new farm, and talking about it being on top of the ground. And he called me and said, "Man, I got a plan for you." So anyway, long story short, subsoiler, using a subsoiler, which is basically a one plow implement, digs straight down into the ground with a tube on the back of it and feeding that pipe through there. He said you can move along with it. So I got a buddy that's actually got one. I was gonna go buy one, but I have a buddy that's got one, so I'm gonna use that, hopefully. And if not, I'll go purchase it. And we're gonna put some pipe in the ground so it's not so stinking hot, man. That even though it's covered in grass, there's some of it that's exposed and it just heats up really bad. Need to get it under the ground anyway. I'm gonna put a permanent fence in here because I figured out this is where I want it. So thanks, Joe. Appreciate you, buddy. That's good input. You know, one of the things, I was talking about Joe Martin a minute ago, one of the things that I didn't expect in this YouTube journey is the people that you can connect to and meet through YouTube. I've met some really great people, people who are in this kind of in the same journey together, and just forged some pretty cool relationships. Joe Martin called, and since then we've talked back and forth quite a bit, and yeah, he's just a great guy in Alabama. Robbie Ballard, Carter James Ranch. If you've never checked out that channel, Robbie's really scaling up. He's full-time. He and I probably talk every 2 weeks or so, at least. And great guy of faith, just high ethics, and I love what he's doing. So it's really cool to see him expanding onto a really large piece of property. Wes White at Tick Creek Ranch. He's been really gracious, generous with his time. And the thing about Wes, he's been very successful in YouTube and social media, and to see him really want other people to succeed, I believe that's something he really wants, and so that's pretty cool. Ben Caton at Grazing 365 has, I've mentioned him on here before as well. He's kind of right up the road from me, about 20-25 minutes, and actually met Ben, I think, before he had a YouTube channel. Bought some steers from him, and but his channel is just so, he's articulate, and he's able to explain and clearly communicate the why behind total grazing, non-selective grazing. And so I appreciate Ben. I think he's doing a great thing for regenerative ag, and especially for people who are kind of thinking about non-selective grazing, and because it kind of goes against everything that most people are talking about, especially the loudest voices in this area. And anyway, I just think I never expected those relationships or connections to form, and some of those guys are great friends. Some of them are more acquaintances that have been very nice and kind to share some stuff with me. So anyway, pretty cool. Wasn't expecting it, but it's one of the reasons on this side of it, I was just expecting, I just wanted to document our channel and or document our farm and our journey. And it's one of the reasons that we had a channel, was to just see the land get better over time, and just be able to go back and kind of journal all that. But on this side of it, I would say, if you're thinking about doing a farming channel, think about how that it's just a kind of a benefit that you may not understand the value of it until you get into it. So it's pretty good. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap up for today. I am honestly, I'm just gonna sit here on my four-wheeler for a minute and soak up this time with some clouds and a breeze blowing, and watch the animals graze. I don't know if you can see right in there. Sheep are just right across the fence line right there. So that's pretty cool. Kind of watch everything from right here. So thanks for joining me today. I always say, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate you doing that. A lot of people on the channel watching stuff, but haven't subscribed yet. So if you do that, that helps us a lot. Hit the like button. That like helps the algorithm so that more people see our content. And so that's just what we're trying to do, is just share what we're doing, get the message out, and show people that you can raise animals the way I believe God intended for you to, without all the inputs and all the stuff on them, and just healthy animals on grass, water, and minerals. So, hey, God bless you guys. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you on the next one.